Hi, Heidi ho. So, message for today. From Zohar, Bereshit, which is Genesis, Noach, the book of Noah or the section of Noah. We're taught about the evil eye. So, that's what this is all about. So, anyway, guarding from the evil eye. One of the reasons why we don't show ourselves in the market. And guarding our seven gates 2, 4, 6, 7. Our eyes, our nostrils, our mouth, and our ears. So, abracadabra, I create as I speak. When we go out into the marketplace, which is society in general, and we let people know the wicked that we are involved in, then we receive the evil eye. And that resonance, that energy, that vibration is sent to our Ima Abba. And even the earth feels it, the beasts of the field feel that resonance, that vibration. So, we bring the evil eye upon ourselves when we do wicked things, when we go along with the masses to do wicked things. And we have to kill out the ego of the beast, the base wants instead of base needs. The consumerism of these flesh suits that we live in, the avatars, some people call it. And how we can bring about the evil eye when we join a group that is wicked, and we do things like push the worship of the sun god, have a sun day even, and change the calendar, and we follow the king of the flesh, which would be Julius Caesar, JC's calendar, that was modified by Pope Gregory. And then we start doing perverse things like telling other people they have to use our fiat currency to live on the land, and they got to use our time and date and our names that we named the land, and so on and so forth. So like I said before, grid point location is the only thing I use. Everything else I'll put RFD, rural free delivery. And then I'll put an address in brackets. I don't use the zip code because that's created by man. That's a postal system. I don't live in a postal box. And even when you're dealing with employment, it's against the law for any man to compel you to use a social security number for employment. Especially once you express it, it's against your religious beliefs, and it should be against your religious beliefs. You're not supposed to accept that number. So that is a Social Security trust account. It's a trust account. It's a gift. But it's also a bribe. It's also attached to the Gregorian calendar and the sun god and Julius Caesar. So anyway, when we do wicked things and we involve ourselves in those things and we carry the iniquity because we decided to involve ourselves in those things. But then when we brag about committing atrocities against others, so kind of like the chair of the Federal Reserve was bragging about how they sanctioned a certain portion of land and a holy people, and they are holy people. And they starve children and women to death, and it's kind of like that portion down south of where I am now that they call Venezuela. And sanction them and do everything they can and steal their gold, and because the leaders of the land, the oligarchs and the plutocrats will tell you they were wicked men, but they wanted the people of the land to benefit off the natural resources as it should be. Not Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Schlumberger, and all the other fracking companies and oil companies, and they're not the ones that should be benefiting. The people of the land should be benefiting. But anyway, they brag about these things. We didn't have to fire a single shot, and look at them. So that's considered wicked. So you oppress a people and then you turn around and murder, which is what it is, it's murder. You commit atrocities on the land and want to bomb them, and then brag about it. And then if somebody tries to call a truce or a ceasefire and they want to negotiate and work things out, you get upset. That shows that you're the ear of Ra. You're wicked. You want to murder and maim and rob. That's wickedness. Not a poor man among you. So anyway, what's going on with that portion of land that some know as Iran? The women actually pushed a lot of the laws, and they still, women are allowed to dress and not wear a hijab, and they don't have to cover their faces, but there are women that choose to do that, and it's not because they're being repressed, it's because they want their daughters to grow up being women. They don't want them growing up being Britney Spears and Hillary Duff and running around half naked like Jay Aniston and, Mila Kunis and a lot of the other ones who claim to be your idols. Hollywood actors, the Holly branch, Holly tree. So anyway, it does come down to the time and calendar that you follow. You should be following our Ima Abba's calendar, which is some know as the Hebrew calendar, and you shouldn't be following the time zone act. You should be following our Ima Abba's time. When the sun sets, it's the end of the day. My middle of night, midnight, is 6 a.m. in the morning, according to my watch, not according to the time zone act. For some of you fools, your midnight is 12. That's when your day ends. That's not the middle of the night. That's when your day ends. Think about it. Mid means middle. So the middle of the night is 12 o'clock. And you're so silly you think that's the end of the day. The middle of the night is 6 a.m. So if you set your clock when the sun goes down, you'll always know when the sun sets. And then 6 hours later, the middle of the night is going to be around 6 a.m., depending on the time of the year. But you always set your watch to sunset. That's our Ima Abba's time. So anyway, that's the message for today. You don't have to use those things. And if you do, you can do it without prejudice. UCC 1-308, which is Uniform Commercial Code, and that's without prejudice, meaning that you retain your God-given rights. So that's the message. God bless. Much love.